morning, Trainiacs. We are here at the track again. My never-ending quest to get my run just totally dialed in. We are going to have call number 2 with the best, the only run coach that I've worked with, Paul, the balanced runner, who helped me bring my average pace down by 20 seconds per kilometer at the same heart rate while leading into Challenge Roth. So we're going to do some before of where I am right now and then after, because I don't know what he's going to fix on me. Let's find out. So alright, Trainiacs, what we're going to do here is we did this earlier with Paul MacKinnon, the balanced runner, who's been changing tons and tons of people's running techniques really successfully way down under, and he did this with me leading into Challenge Roth. Here, we'll show a little bit of like before, how I had this big chicken wing. And then after, and the running stride that I had, it was able to just open up, get faster a lot easier, and at the same heart rate at about 135 beats a minute, I was able to run instead of 540 kilometers down to like 515s, 510s at the very end of it. So what we're gonna do is we just shot some before of what my running stride is like now, and we're gonna call Paul, and hopefully we can record the call, and we'll go back and look at my stride after. Well, that was interesting. Very, very different from the last one where gave me one cue, like boom, okay, feels so much better. This one, this took some work. How's this one for you?
Better, because I could hear this time.
We figured things out. Last time I had earbuds in and Kim was just staring at Paul's face.
For an hour.
For an hour with no audio, not understanding what was going on. We'll fill you in on what went on there. That was not what I expected.
But good.
But good. It will be good after I work on it. So, Trainiacs here, it's been 2 days and just a little bit of running since we did that call with the balanced runner, Paul. And I've got some findings, opinions on how that went. And I'm going to show you the before and after, because there is a significant difference when you start slowing it down and looking at the footage of what my run was like before versus after. And I think we've got some good takeaways, things to build on. All right, on the left, as you can see, is the old style. On the right is the new style. Now, the first thing that Paul ended up working on is how I kind of hold my upper body. It's really the only thing that we worked on because it's very hard to work on more than one thing at a time. So I want to show here, right there. So look at that spot in the run there and look at how scrunched up my upper body is. My arms are kind of scrunched up. Now what we worked on is relaxing the upper body so that can be just a little bit more fluid. Now look at that right there, and you see it's a fair bit more relaxed. Now that has the effect of when you are needing to run really fast, instead of grinding through everything tense here, it's loose and you can drive those arms. In Challenge Roth in the last 15 kilometers, when things started getting really hard, the only thing that kept me going was pushing those arms really hard, and it was kind of like pushing through mud. But hopefully if I can combine that ability to push really hard with a looser, more fluid upper body, be a little bit easier next time I do an Ironman, because I'm going to do another Ironman. And here's actually a really good side-by-side where you can see how much more relaxed my shoulders and my traps are, and my arm carry is from old way to new way. Big change there. The next thing that I want to address is not really related to anything that Paul and I did in this session, but something that people on Instagram, by the way, go follow me on Instagram at triathlon Taren, where I put more of this stuff and some workouts and things like that. It's really good. I'm quite something there. There's also a lot of dogs. But something that a lot of people are saying is right here that my arm is crossing over the center line. That's the new way. And with the old way, that my arm is crossing over the center line. Now, somebody pointed this out in my running style a few months ago, and Paul, the balanced runner, actually got into the comments and he said, yeah, he is crossing over the center line, but the momentum is actually, as I'm crossed over, going up towards my chin. So it's actually creating lift. Whereas if I was just going that way, then I'm creating momentum going that way. And this kind of leads into something that we did talk about in this session, is that nothing is as simple as don't cross the center line. Nothing is as simple as stand tall. Nothing is as simple as there's one right way to do things and there is no way around it, because there are a lot of moving parts in our run. And what you have to work on is what works really well for you, and having a good functional run coach or a functional movement person is really important to have if you want to get better and do that without injury. Now, the key to this is that you have to have somebody who looks at you, I think, very objectively. Instead of just saying, stand tall, and then goes away, if instead they say, stand tall, and then they see how you run and they see what that cue of stand tall results in, does it result in a good change or a bad change? Because somebody could tell me to stand tall and I nail perfect running position. Somebody could tell you to stand tall and all of a sudden you actually do what I used to do. Because everyone interprets things different ways, we got to make sure that whatever we're processing is actually translating into the right running form. The next thing that he got me to work on with regards to my upper body is related to that stand tall cue. Now, let's look at, here, we'll go to a freeze frame and a side-by-side of the old way versus the new way. Now, what was happening with the old stand tall way is we're always told, like, be really nice and tall and straight. Well, when you start running, in my case, I end up thinking, all right, I have to run really nice and tall. So I run really nice and tall. I point my chest out. I roll my back so that I've got an arch in the back. And that roll in the back basically ends up locking up everything. So one of the tests to see if you are loose enough that Paul gave me there is go like this. Go and arch your back and take a deep breath. Kind of restricted here. Now just stand loosely, neutral, balanced on your toes and your heels. Put your arms there. Nice big breath. So I was running restricted. I was running like this, running with my chest puffed out, running with my arms locked up here, taking short breaths. And you can see that in this little bit of a freeze frame. It's not the exact same, but you can see that I'm a little bit more tall here, but I've got that arch. This is a little bit more straight up and down. Now, this is going to take some fine tuning. This is where it didn't quite feel natural. It was taking a little bit of extra effort to do that, but something of a balance where I'm not restricting my upper body and finding that balance of actually being able to then, instead of have this locked out and then not really be able to lean forward, now I can have more of a neutral back and lean forward. And what I found today in the run is that my glutes, whoa, were they tired at the end. Whew. So that's a really good sign. That's a great sign that what we're doing is actually going to be able to activate those big glute and hamstring muscles. Our quads are a lot smaller than our hamstrings. Our hip flexors are way smaller than our glutes. Our glutes are like the biggest muscle group in our body. And if those aren't turned on, And every foot press that we have in behind us is not actually in behind us, but it's basically just an up and a down, which is what I was doing. We're wasting a lot of energy. We want to land, have spring, and shoot ourselves forward, and we do that with the glute, and we can't do that if we're locked up here. So be nice and relaxed, be neutral. I have a cue for you. So how you can work on this is as you start running, and you might need to do this every 5 minutes to reset, is number one, start with the arms. So instead of saying, all right, I'm gonna start with my arms here, which you can see right there, I'm already fairly tense, start with the arms just relaxed. Really relaxed, nice loose shoulders. Then just bend your arms. That's about where you want to hold your arms. Nice, neutral, no tension up here. Next thing is once you've got that, feel a neutral spot where you've got an even amount of balance on your toes and your heels, and your body isn't like that. It's just nice and neutral. Just start leaning forward and start running from there. And that's gonna give you the cue for what's relaxed here and what's neutral up there without being locked. Because what I was doing is I'm like, all right, hey, let's go for a run. And all of a sudden, I'm really locked up. So that's that. It's still very much a work in progress, but in my run today, I ran at a 5:22 kilometer pace for 20 kilometers in about 28 degree, 80 humidity weather, which is really, really hot for here. So you'd think that my heart rate should be through the roof, but heart rate was able to keep at 133, give or take about 4 beats per minute. So that's telling me that I'm working just slightly less hard than I would otherwise. However, because my muscles were a lot more sore in other areas that they weren't typically before, I gotta get used to this. I gotta adapt to the new muscle firing patterns, but there's hope. Now, if you are interested in getting yourself a running assessment, I recommend Paul. He's done 2 things with me. They take about 45 minutes. You do it over the phone, and they're pretty helpful. He doesn't pay me to do this. I like it. It's helpful. Just looking at my before and after. I have work to do. All right, if you aren't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button below and run fast. Trainiacs later.